Hi! Okay, we're live. We're good. We got it. We figured it out.
Oh, we're live now. Got it.
Yeah.
Now we're live.
Now we're live.
Got it.
What's funny is I turned
countdown, nothing. Just,
What's funny is I turned on the audio so that I could play the intro song right when you did the fucking scream. So they were sitting in a quiet chat, and then I was just like, ah!
That was a goat screaming too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the goat scream.
That's the goat scream. Meme. That's the goat scream meme. Scream meme.
Yeah.
Screaming.
I got a
Screaming
soundboard on my computer now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not. It's not cool. It's not.
I've only heard one sound effect, and so far it's cool.
I was doing it all night last night on the stream. Caleb was not amused.
Slightly annoyed.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it.
I changed the buttons up. I gotta find it again.
Great. We're gonna get a bunch of... Look at all those chickens.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Oh, man.
So dumb.
Yeah, super dumb. Super dumb. But it's okay. I love it.
Next week I'm gonna have a fart machine.
Is that an okay boomer?
Ben, you are a fart machine.
Yeah, it's true.
Is that an okay boomer? Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
What's funny is there's a character named Boom Howler on that show. But no, that's King of the Hill.
Oh, right.
Which apparently King of the Hill, like the writers of King of the Hill wrote The Office, yo.
Well, a lot of people wrote The Office.
Well, if you listen to the Office Ladies podcast, the last episode, or maybe the one before that, they were talking about Office Olympics. And Office Olympics wasn't the guy who wrote it with Ryan's character.
Greg Daniels.
The Office Olympics was inspired by actual Office Olympics that the writers of King of the Hill did in their office.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That podcast is great because I keep learning shit I didn't know, and it's awesome.
I listen to it while I'm at the gym. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's dope. How's everybody doing? We have a guest.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
We should introduce our guests.
I'm doing good.
I didn't even realize it. I was like, what?
There's no cast.
Yeah, no cast.
Oh, awesome.
How's your thumb?
It's actually really good because all last night streaming, I was playing with my thumb. Like I was actually using my thumb on the joystick.
That's why you were doing so good.
Yeah, dude, I was doing great.
Yeah, you were like, I don't have a handicap anymore.
Are you stronger than it was before?
No.
Bionic.
I can't, like, this is about as far as I can bend it. I can move it around and stuff, but I can only, like, actually flex my thumb about that far right now.
I bet if you pushed it like this, it would pop again.
It would probably rip my tendon in half again.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Give it the old chest bump. Just and see what happens.
And then I'd be like,
fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
That soundboard came into play so much last night.
It did.
Or
I'd be more like...
I think you owe it to your viewers to tell them why you put an old lady in your podcast. It's not really normal.
She looked cold outside.
Oh. She was shivering.
No,
come in, dear one, and
as you can see on the stream, those of you who are watching,
Sir, can you spare a podcast?
Please, sir, can you spare a podcast? As you can see, if you're watching the stream, or as you can hear, if you're listening to it, we have another person with us, and it is the one and only Calamity Jane, the grandmother of myself, and the mother of Ben.
Sketch. Yeah, hi. And friend of Ryan.
Christy Sawyer with the rap horns.
And friend of Ryan.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, so she is in the process. She is in the process of moving, and is.
If I look like I've been run over by a truck, it's because I feel like it.
Yeah, And she's staying with us tonight. And so I was like, hey, we should do the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
And include the Grand, because she's kind of dope.
Aww.
The Grand.
If I nod off, just
kinda.
If I nod off, just do that horn. Beep, 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 beep.
Just wake up.
Your dog is so needy right now.
I'm awake.
Slugger put his snout up on Ryan's arm.
What a pretty puppy.
Thank you.
He's very pretty.
He's a Siberian husky.
Siberian.
It's Siberian. How's everybody's week been? Why don't we lead off with our guest, who's had a tumultuous week, I'm sure.
God. You don't know how much you can do until you do it. That's how my week has been. Tons of friends helping me pack, but trying to organize a move in. Yeah, it's just been really crazy. Because I had to do the organizing pretty much myself, even though I had lots of people to execute my orders. But anyway, it's packed up. It's on the van. It's gone to the 2 Men in a Truck yard. It's being held for 3 days, and then it'll be brought out on Monday. So, anyway.
Wait, all of your stuff is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They took it and parked it in the yard.
The new place isn't ready.
Per her request.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't the way they operate. No.
Why are they taking your stuff?
Yeah. We're gonna move your stuff, but next week.
We're gonna hang on to it for a few days.
So I couldn't buy the new house until I sell the old one. So tomorrow I'm gonna sell one, move the pile of papers over, sign a bunch more papers, then I'll own that one, and then I go in and clean and paint, and then I'll have my stuff brought out.
I wonder if you could have convinced. This is not very interesting to many people, but I wonder if
this is life, Ben. This is life.
I wonder if you could have asked the bank for a 3-day loan of a cool, 100K. I'll give it right back, I promise. And then.
What an interesting thought. That never occurred to anyone.
Yeah.
No, guys, the reason that's not a thing is because it definitely has, and it probably didn't go well.
Well, they had a thing back in the day where you could rent back after you've sold a place. This happened all the time. So the person would buy your house and say, I want to stay for 3 days or a week, or whatever. And it was like normal. And they would just charge you, they divide their mortgage up for 3-4 days out of the month. And you would just stay there. And that would give people a chance to get out in a proper amount of time. But they don't do that anymore. It's unheard of. Unthinkable. So
You can't really trust people anymore.
Inconceivable. I guess that.
I guess. It's too bad because it was kind of the norm. But anyway.
Yeah.
We're handling it.
What was exciting about Norm?
There's a Cheers reference.
Oh. We both react the same way. Ryan, how's your week been, dude?
It's been pretty good.
You have
got my cast off.
Yeah.
When did that
pretty
happen?
Excited about that. Yesterday, actually.
Did you smash a bottle of champagne?
No.
Over the bow of a ship?
Didn't even celebrate.
You with the cast off.
Got it. I think they're still lost, but I got it.
Are you?
When you berth a ship, you hit the bow of the ship with a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
It's called a cast off, isn't it?
Don't know, man.
No, that's called a christening.
Yeah, it is a christening, yeah.
Christen the ship.
Christening? What?
Christy.
Christening.
But yeah, so I got my cast taken off yesterday, and the therapist has very high hopes that everything's going well.
I would hope so.
Well, the only issue I'm having right now is that the scar tissue from my skin and the tendon itself are like mended together.
That's not
so that's just what scar tissue does. It just combines together. So I have to break that at some point by stretching and everything, and eventually the scar tissue will soften up enough to where they will break free because that tendon has to move freely underneath your thumb. So
yeah, it's
I'm just
bones together, not.
I'm just hoping it's not going to be like a poof, like it just happens. I'm like, oh god, like that felt terrible.
Feels like something breaks free.
Or else you can open bottles with it or something. You'll have a special talent. Like
yeah, there you go.
Here's another one.
I'm always happy, unless I'm not.
But yeah, another month and I should be good, from what the doctors and the therapist said. So
dope. Well, once you're
Good news.
cleared by the doctors, I do want that rematch of our thumb war. So.
Yeah, you really took me out, dude. You need to cut those nails.
Yeah, my thumbnail shredded your tendon. Yep.
Aww.
They call me the Dethuminator. Ben, how's your week been?
The Thumbinator.
Interesting. As my personal training business comes to fruition, I've landed myself 2 clients this
Leave
week.
it. Nice.
Nice.
Yes. And one of them is like
Jesus.
no. One of them is like 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
he's
awesome.
he's super serious, and he said money wasn't an issue. So he's like, "What do you suggest? 2 or 3 days a week?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, if you want to be serious, let's go with 3." He's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
here's my credit card."
Yeah. 2 days a week is not training, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, it is if you're starting from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But they really do suggest 3.
Yeah. That's
3 or
dope.
more, less than 5. And then the one today, it was just when you join Fit City Gym, which I'm training out of, you get a complimentary session. And she's like, "Man, I didn't even want to come today. You know, I almost canceled and all that stuff. And, you know, we had a good time." And she wants to actually do strength building, which is what I want to specialize in.
Nice.
So I was like, you know, all we got to do, there's this cheap package. You can come for a few days and I can show you the ropes.
Yeah.
She's like, "All right, that sounds cool."
Yeah.
So,
I bet you'll get a lot of those.
yeah.
You know, just that you will bounce off that freebie and get them for a few weeks, because not very many people can afford personal trainers.
No, it's definitely not cheap, but there are a lot of people that might actually need it.
There's this lady that we know that lady that we met recently that we so admire.
Yeah, she sat down at my desk the other day and talked to me for like a half hour.
Oh wow, she's fascinating. She's been training with a trainer for like
Years.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the results show.
Yeah, she's going to competitions and winning.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Pretty cool. So yeah, that was my week. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wrapping up some personal projects, starting new personal projects. For those of you who are listening and played Wipeout back in the day, I started another fan comics. Since Blaster Master wrapped, I've started a Wipeout fan comic based on one of the original racers from the first Wipeout game, Paul Jackson, racing for Team Phizar. And we have about I don't know. We have a full first issue planned, so that's 22 pages. If it doesn't get much traction, I'm probably going to stop in 8 pages at a cliffhanger. But if you guys like it and I get some feedback or some traffic, I'll keep it going. Just do a page a week. I know a page a week isn't a lot, but it's free, so deal with it.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I found this at work this week.
Awesome.
Which is the PS4 remastered Wipeout Ultimate Collection, or Omega Collection. So that's 3 games.
Wait, hold that up again. What is it? Oh, the Omega?
The
Man,
Omega Collection.
dude, it's so good, especially with surround sound. They did so much to remaster it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Totaku makes these super dope figures.
Oh, wow.
And I got the
AG
AG
systems?
the AG systems ship. Yeah. So Wipeout's
Super cool.
I have the
Wipeout's about to-
64 game in the other room.
Do you really? That's great.
Oh, you have Wipeout 64?
Oh,
That's dope.
Yeah, remember you didn't know what it was, and you're like, "No, that's not a thing." And I was like, "It's right here, buddy."
Yeah, I didn't think there was a 64 Wipeout, but I also didn't have a 64. I only had a PlayStation.
It's a remake of the first one. It's a little
Yeah.
blurrier because Nintendo 64 likes to like gauzy and blur everything for some reason, and it's not the same soundtrack. They didn't get all the licensed music, so that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So Mom was cleaning out her house a few months ago, and she pulled out this gem.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice.
Wipeout XL, also known as Wipeout 2048 in the UK. This is the second game
Oh,
with which is
2048's on the Omega Collection. I just never heard of it called 2048.
yeah.
Why
So,
doesn't the
yeah.
Omega Collection have Wipeout 3 on it?
Cool soundtrack by Future Sound of London, Chemical Brothers, Prodigy, Underworld, Fluke, and Photech.
Dude, the
That's
soundtracks are so
Pretty
good.
much how pretty sure that's how I discovered Prodigy. It has to
oh yeah.
be. Yeah.
Sure.
I've got video of you dancing to the Wipeout music when you
Yes,
were a
snap-
little guy.
Snap my picture, right, Mom?
Snap my picture.
Yeah.
Oh man, the number of people that use that as the fake lines for "smack my bitch up."
Was it more than our family? I feel like we're
Yes, I heard the story at GameStop.
Oh, okay.
Someone else told the story at GameStop.
So we're not uniquely stupid.
No, we're uniquely genius.
We're in there.
Zing, the video of me dancing to Wipeout music absolutely does not need to be found and posted somewhere. Thanks for trying.
Ben, you've got the DVDs. You can
Challenge
Cut
accepted.
it out. So my week's been fine. A lot of work. My manager at the old stop of games got very sick, and so we've been covering for that all week, and that's fun. Yeah, I played Coffee Talk last week and put together a review. Since then, that game is super dope. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a narrative sim, so there's not a lot of like active gameplay, but there's a lot of reading and discussion, and you get to make lattes, and it's got a new super good chill hop soundtrack. What are you laughing at?
Just because you get to make lattes.
Yeah.
Yay.
And you get to make latte art. If you watch the video review on our YouTube channel, you get to see some of my latte art, including
And it's beautiful.
my best one at the end, which is like a landscape with the sun rising over it and clouds. Because I'm a G. So, that game was a lot of fun, though. And we had to play Disintegration. Sorry, not Dishonored.
we did.
Disintegration this last week. And that was... I enjoyed it. The first night, I did not. I was like, this is...
He was very disinterested.
My impressions also ebbed and flowed as well, waxed and waned, if you will.
Yeah, and by the end of the beta, when I had seen all I felt like I needed to see, I was very warm on the project as a whole, and I'm super excited to see it get fleshed out and become a full thing.
When is the launch date?
Probably sometime this summer. I don't know for sure when though. Speaking of launch dates, also today. Well, let's transition into news because this is news.
News.
We
What's
actually
new?
have news, guys. I put news together. I didn't put it together as early as I'd like, but we have some news things to go through, and I think there's one that transitions well into our topic for the night. So let's dive into that. The first thing, and the thing I was about to say, Ninja Theory a couple weeks ago released a video that was the Dreadnought Diaries. That was their launching of their following of the development of the next Hellblade. But they released a Bleeding Edge update today, showcasing some stuff and talking about there's not going to be any microtransactions that impact the game, and they're committed to that, and a bunch of really cool stuff. But the open beta launches Valentine's Day weekend, and if you have a Game Pass subscription, you get in. Or the closed beta is Valentine's Day weekend, and if you have a Game Pass subscription, you get in for free automatically.
Nice.
So that's exciting because that's only a week and a half away. And it's a 4v4 PvP action game.
It looks like a grittier Overwatch with less guns.
Yeah, it's heavily melee based. There are people
Yeah.
with ranged weapons, but the combat is based on lock-on and combo rather than
lock-on. Interesting.
Yeah, so even ranged people will be able to lock onto enemies and do DPS rather than
Excuse me, guys.
worrying about that, but having abilities that can cause other things, and it's all about strategizing your team's actions with your teammates. So it looks super interesting. So that's the first news thing, and I just remembered that after putting all these things up. The next one, I don't really want to read the whole article. It's just amazing to me that the headline is a thing. Star Citizen shows prisons and more in new video. Star Citizen has been in development, active / open / closed beta for 7 years now.
Oh, good grief.
Wow.
And crowdfunding has passed $267 million.
Somebody wants it to launch.
And that's bananas.
What's been playable this whole time?
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of it has been playable for a long
Yeah.
time. So it's not just something that they can't play. And they're
So
just
it's not
adding
like
money
The
to.
Last Guardian.
Right, sure. But yeah, they've got 2,520,626 registered accounts,
Good grief.
which is fucking bananas. And they still have stuff coming out for that. They keep adding to it. So, I mean, I guess there's a way to do crowdfunding where you just get millions and millions of dollars over
We
several
need to
years.
tap into that.
Yeah, we need to figure that out. which seems like it's not possible. Next news thing, Activision teases several remasters and reimagined experiences coming in 2020. This is from Twinfinite. Thank you, Giuseppe Nova. During Activision's financial conference call for investors and analysts, Dennis Durkin teased treats for lovers of older franchises. That's such a weird way to word that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cookies.
Teasing
You're
treats.
gonna get cookies, you nostalgic bastards. In addition, our business units will continue to tap into our portfolio of beloved IP to bring several remastered and reimagined experiences to our players in 2020, which we'll announce closer to launch. That's
Such
literally
as-
all he said.
Oh.
But it could be more Crash Bandicoot, more Spyro.
I
I don't know what else Activision could remaster. I guess
I'm
old
looking it
Call of
up.
Duties? Like a remastered Modern Warfare 2? That wouldn't land right now with Modern Warfare out.
No.
I mean, Activision goes back all the way to Atari.
A new Pitfall.
Yeah.
Whoa.
New Pong.
It's about dang time, I say.
So yeah, in the
I've been waiting
80s,
for years.
yeah, in the 80s it was like Barnstormer and stuff like that. But trying to find stuff more recent. Okay, that's all right. I'll get back to you on that.
I think nostalgia is a huge market.
Oh yeah, Nintendo's still a company.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's
Okay,
on the,
organized by year. They have a game called Boxing.
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Double Dragon, Altered Beast.
Altered Beast.
Ghostbusters.
Warm in here, isn't it?
Is that
Try to
PC?
see. R-Type is a kind of a cult classic. Zork, remember those games? Yeah. Pitfall, of course.
Pitfall's a huge game for Activision. They should remake that.
Apparently, they had their hands on MechWarrior for a while.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Blast Chamber was actually kind of fun. They did Quake 2, but that's Battlezone. That's a big one. Vigilante 8, remember that, Caleb?
Yeah. All right. So they got some stuff. Vigilante
they
8
do.
would be great to come out when Twisted Metal's been kind of dead for 6 years.
Tony Hawk.
No way.
Oh, they've got to have Tony. They definitely have Tony Hawk coming back. I've
That
heard
would be
rumors.
hugely popular.
I've heard rumors that like Tony Hawk has been with the guys that made Skate that are no longer at EA, and incorporating them into a new Tony Hawk game,
Oh, Bloody Roar. Those games were great.
which would be dope. All right, so Activision's planning on releasing some nostalgic shit. Look forward to that. Next is from IGN. Fucking. Sorry, my computer was being dumb. Birds of Prey has its Rotten Tomatoes score out. What do y'all think it is?
Well,
7.
unfortunately, I saw your article headline, so I'm going to assume it's in the 9s. Am I close?
What did you say, Ryan?
He said
Six?
I said 7. I was just being a dick.
Okay, what do you think it actually is? You
I
said in the
already saw
nines,
it.
Ben. You mean 90s or like?
Yeah, out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. So right now the film is certified fresh at 86%,
Nice.
which is
That's huge.
nice.
Yeah.
But, like-
it's kind of shocking.
So like Rotten Tomatoes though, I don't like. So the way that I watch shows or whatever, it shows the Rotten Tomato rating on like movies and all that.
Yeah.
And some of these are like 12%. like who's watching these movies and like are they your kind of movie and that kind of thing? Like,
Sure,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't get how the Rotten Tomato rating even comes out. Like, what's it break down? Like, why does it make it such a high or a low number? It's like there's no reason a movie should be at a below 25.
Oh, I can argue that. There's a Taylor Lautner movie called.
Okay, I'm talking about like
Okay.
huge movies like that people care about, and then like I think The
Ouch.
Matrix was like below 50%. I was like, I figured that'd be more than 50%.
Yeah,
If you're trying to rate it today compared to when it came out, I mean maybe it's a different story, but
yeah, who knows? But it's encouraging to see
So
Birds of Prey rating
There
well.
are 2 ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. The one on the left, the certified one, comes from actual like vetted
Reviewers.
critics.
Yeah.
So that number is coming from people who actually it's their job to. They have a reputation. You know, they're not just going to be like, you know.
It was
black-
good.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked it.
nice.
They had a good plot.
And then
This movie is great, 3 out of 10.
the popcorn bucket is the fan rating.
Audience score, yeah. And that's even higher. And typically it is higher, especially with Transformers movies. Transformers tomato meter is like 35%. Audience score 98%. Like, oh, all right, well,
Critics were like, "This is creative
This is-
trash,"
this is trash movie.
and then the fans were like,
Trash.
"Popcorn!" Yeah. So but it's cool to see that the certified score for Birds of Prey is in the 80s.
The trailer.
Zing says in chat that Doolittle has a 16% critic score with a 76 audience score.
It's sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
76.
Has anybody seen it? I haven't.
Zing has seen it. He said it was
Zing has.
he said it was it's a movie for kids. So like,
yeah.
it's a movie
I
for
saw
kids.
the trailer in the theater and I just thought, wow, that's a weird take. Very dark. Very
Frozen
dark.
was a movie for kids too, and that's
What
got-
was?
Frozen. That's got a great score.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frozen's also Disney, and Disney doesn't get many bad rated movies.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Rise of Skywalker.
What's the tomato on Rise of Skywalker?
52
From the fans?
No.
from the critics.
From
the
the
critics.
critics. What the fans give it?
86 from the fans.
What does Last Jedi have from critics? The fan one doesn't count because people tanked it on purpose.
Yeah, but now it's back. It's the Berenstain dimension, remember? People like it again for some reason.
No, the vocal minority said it was shit, and now they're all past it, and everybody who actually liked it is now speaking up about it.
Critics gave it a 91. Audience gave it a 43.
It's fucking Last Jedi is so good.
Damn.
Last Jedi is so good, but there were people logging
think
into Rotten
you
Tomatoes
have to be-
and putting bad scores in on purpose to tank it.
Now, I haven't vetted my own thoughts on this. So backlash is welcome. But maybe you have to be extra critical to enjoy it.
I
What does
don't
that mean?
understand that.
Yeah, dive
Well, the
in.
critics love it, and they tear movies apart, and they see movies under a microscope. Maybe you have to see this movie under a microscope to enjoy it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, maybe, sure, but
But
I
I
don't think
loved it.
that's a
What does
good
that
idea
tell
for
me?
a movie. To okay, you gotta think really hard about this one for you to like it at all. Like
Okay,
that-
do you think your average
Yeah,
Transformers
why do you
viewer
have
is
to have a
gonna
New York accent to watch
I don't
too? I didn't even.
be
So you hit
be
us real hard.
Sparky.
snarky?
Snarky. Sparky.
Oh, so like your average Aquaman best movie of the last year gonna love The Gentleman or Knives Out? You know?
No, probably not. Sure.
Right. So maybe Last Jedi just might be something.
It makes you think more.
I hate to sound that pretentious, but maybe if the only people that like it are critics.
Sure.
And all you dumbasses, you should like it, but you don't.
I mean,
also, it's
subjective.
important to say that 43% is not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
The fan vote on that is not accurate.
218,000 user ratings.
Yeah. And there was news stories for the 3 weeks following that movie that people were logging in 1,000 times and bombing it
Yeah.
because they wanted to
Yeah.
be back at Disney.
Those are not discreet
Because people
reviews.
are terrible.
Yeah, those. So the 43% is probably in reality closer to 80, but you had a large portion of.
Vote.
I would bet a realistic audience score for Last Jedi would probably be. Your mic cut out for me, so you might have said it already. I'm going to say 73%.
I was saying 80.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's.
How can
Also
any
fucking
rating
great,
system
so-
be accurate if you're allowed to log in
It
more
can't.
than once?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's like the popularity votes for your favorite pizza joint, and Emo's comes out on top because
Yeah. Best
everybody.
Pizza in St. Louis. Emos. Oh, okay.
Emo, I'm sorry.
Fucking-
All right, I'm sorry, Emos, but no.
Just wash it down with the best.
I mean,
St. Louis's
Hodak's-
best beer.
Hodak's
Bud Light.
has won best wings in St. Louis, and no one agrees with it. So
No.
Oh,
it's just
boy.
popularity, and you just vote early and vote often.
I have a group of friends, and if Tech is listening, he's one of them, that go out to eat to different places every month, and some wise ass put Hodak's in the hat one of these weeks.
Yeah, they got
and
like
it
a supper club that.
and it got
yeah.
picked, so we had to go, and it was awful, and everybody was complaining at the table. It was like this. It was like imagine sitting on a bunch of McDonald's nuggets and then soaking them in water and then frying them again. That's what they taste like, watery, mashed up chicken. It was just
watery butt nuggets.
Jesus.
Zing says Emos is the place you send people who come to town that you don't want to come back.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Emos is good
if you're drunk.
You eat it when it's really hot.
When you're blacked out.
Or if you're blackout drunk.
Yeah.
That's why they stay open so late.
If you're in an alcoholic time traveling state. Maybe. But yeah, no, it's good when it's super fresh. And then if you're really desperate, it's good. The next day in the microwave.
Oh.
If you're really desperate.
Ben was like afraid of saying that out loud.
It's the only thing in the house.
I think I'd rather have Red Baron, okay?
Hey man, Red Baron, if you make it right.
Yeah.
Me and Kim have gotten really good at making Red Baron lately. It's
yeah.
Yo, Amanda and I.
I'm gonna offend the Italians by doing this, but you know.
Yeah, manja.
When Amanda and I go grocery shopping, we get one of the Aldi take and bake pizzas, the ones that aren't frozen, and we throw it in without the pan underneath it.
Yeah.
And let it get crispy on the bottom. That's just so good.
Yep.
Yeah, they have really good.
We have a pizza night once a week. It's the best. I can't wait to have pizza night with my kids.
You can go to Schnucks and get Dogtown pizza. It's very good. It's very, very good.
Okay, all right. Since we're reviewing food,
oh god,
Four Hands has these local restaurants that they collaborate with and put their
someone touch my spaghetti. Sorry, go on.
And so I had a Four Hands pizza with sugar fire barbecued chicken. Who buys stuff like this? I did. I was really hungry.
Americans.
And it wasn't. And I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It would just tasted. It was too sweet. The barbecue sauce was too sweet. Bread wasn't good.
I'm gonna rein us back in.
Okay.
We're not a food podcast.
We're not a food podcast.
Dude,
okay. All right.
Dude, I almost got the crickets sound.
Yeah.
installed
on my computer and was about to hit it, dude.
You just
I was so close.
Caleb saved the day.
So,
all right.
Second to last news thing before our topic. Phil Spencer, in a conversation this week with, I don't remember, like a new tech website, said, and I'm reading his words, "When you talk about Nintendo and Sony, we have a ton of respect for them, but we see Amazon and Google as the main competitors going forward. That's not to disrespect Nintendo and Sony, but the traditional gaming companies are somewhat out of position. I guess they could try to recreate Azure, but we've invested tens of billions of dollars in cloud over the years."
Wow.
He says, "I don't want to be in a fight over format wars with those guys, while Amazon and Google are focusing on how to get gaming to 7 billion people around the world. Ultimately, that's the goal."
Man.
Yikes.
So
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, so we know what direction they're heading.
yeah, Xbox I think is planning for a future, and like, yo, if we're gonna have
for cloud based. Yeah.
if we're gonna have games on our phones,
Right.
Ugh. This doesn't appeal to me. It's not my demographic. So
not yet.
I'll let it be someone else's.
I never thought I would watch movies on my phone, but I do.
But you can also stream those things to a PC. Mm-hmm. And if you could have a computer monitor and a PC box that was nice and cheap and just had good internet, you'd be able to stream all these games without having to buy a $800 computer. So
well, you'd be able to hook your phone up to your controller up to your phone, so you don't have to use the touchscreen to do it. You can still play off these giant phones because you can still
Yeah. Also, I've played like Apple Arcade games with my Xbox controller on my iPhone. It's fucking magical. It's so ridiculous using a controller, looking at my phone, like at a coffee shop waiting for a friend to show up. It's so cool.
Or while your friend is droning on.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I'm not an asshole.
Caleb, remember like 5 years ago they came out with that? It was probably more than that. That device that I bought that you could actually hold your phone.
Oh, I've still got it.
To your
That's going to be useful soon.
The fact that that's going to be relevant, and actually I'm seeing that stuff on Amazon and stuff is insane.
And you bought it for us in 2014?
Yeah, I bought it because Battlefield
had the
3
commander
came
seat.
out with the commander thing.
Yep.
And what you could do is you could pull the companion app up, and you can even see the map So you could see what's going on just by looking down at the map instead of like pulling the map up on your actual screen.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was super dope.
So,
And now those things actually have a use. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, last news thing. We lingered on food for a little bit, so I apologize to those of you purists who are like, news was longer than 20 minutes. This is a tweet from Rod Ferguson, the current head at the Coalition, which is the studio that makes Gears. This was the 5th, so yesterday? What's the day? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday at 5:30 p.m., he said, starting in March, I will be joining Blizzard to oversee the Diablo franchise. Leaving is bittersweet as I love our Gears family, the fans, and everyone at the Coalition and Xbox. Thank you. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with you all. So the guy in charge of Gears, who got a studio started to make Gears, and then made Gears 4 and 5, is gonna head up the Diablo 4 project.
I am nonplussed.
Why?
I don't know. It just doesn't feel. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Gears hasn't done much for me lately, and I don't know what his presence will bring to Diablo. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Huh? All right. I saw it as a big deal because Rod is this guy who came in and built a studio from the ground up and then put out 2 of the most ambitious Gears of War games that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then now is going to help Blizzard, one of the biggest. Blizzard wanted him to
That's
run
intriguing.
Diablo.
Like, I want to know why.
Exactly.
That's intriguing to me.
And yeah.
Maybe he pitched himself. Says, "Hey, I've got some really great ideas."
I mean, I'm sure that was a part of it, but the conversation doesn't happen unless they're interested in the clout of the person first, right? Like, I could pitch good ideas and they'd be like, dope, thanks for the ideas, and then just make them themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they had to be interested in him for some reason. Why
Right.
would they reach out to him for nothing? I'm saying maybe he came to them and said, "Hey, I love your series, but it needs to go this direction," and they go, "Oh yeah, you're right. Come on in. What would it take for you to jump ship?"
Sure.
I'm willing to bet that's something had to happen for this communication to even take place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's dope.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Nonplussed. We'll see. I don't know what that means.
I don't even know what nonplussed means, so.
Ready? Watch. Ready? Yeah, that's nonplussed.
for those listeners
Yeah.
out there.
It's for you listeners, it's MEH. I just don't. I have no reason to care. No.
I mean, Diablo's huge. Gears is huge, and
Yeah, it's big wheels moving.
yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting, I guess. But
Yeah. I don't know what else Rod Ferguson.
contentless.
I don't know what else Rod Ferguson's responsible for.
He's kind of a big deal, if I recall. My brain says big deal.
He is known for. I've got it pulled up. He's been with Microsoft since '96. Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Gears of War, Unreal 3, Gears 2, Fat Princess, Shadow Complex, Lost Planet 2, Infinity Blade, Gears 3, Infinity Blade 2, Bulletstorm, Judgment, Gears Judgment, Infinity Blade 3, Bioshock Infinite,
Ooh.
and then Gears 4 and Gears 5. That's not a bad resume.
No, that's let me see here. I mean, Train Simulator, whatever. But that's kind of a flawless resume. All those games did really well.
Yeah. So Microsoft from '96 to 2005, Epic from
Except for,
2005 to 2000.
Bulletstorm had a tumultuous launch, but
That game's got a huge cult following. Epic from 2005
Written
to
by Rick
2012. Irrational Games from 2012 to 2013.
yeah, he's a big.
Coalition from 2014 to 2020.
He's been in the industry for 20 years. He should retire, but
Not if he still likes it.
Yeah, if he's having a good time.
Oh shit, that's the other big news. Speaking of retiring,
Oh.
Dan Houser, the co-founder
I was gonna bring that up.
of Rockstar, left Rockstar.
He's leaving March 11th.
Yeah.
He stated that he was leaving.
Yeah, and after Red Dead 2 came out, he took like a long sabbatical in that spring, and then I guess
it was spring of 19, so
Yeah.
last year.
and that dude is responsible for some incredible
He's got
titles.
Grand Theft Auto, Max Payne, Red Dead Redemption, 2K games,
Bully
all that.
and Bully.
Yep.
Head writer for the lead writer for Bully, Red Dead 2, and Max Payne 3, and Red Dead 1.
I slurped.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
nice. So that's a big deal.
It is.
And that, who knows, man? And like this leads into the topic, right? Because the Rod Ferguson conversation, he's going from one studio to another studio. So like, well, it'll be interesting to see what he does. But Dan Houser is either done with games, or gonna go start something on his own, which seems weird because his brother is still at Rockstar
As the president?
as the president. So it's not like maybe they had a huge disagreement and they just, I don't know. But it sounds more like Dan might have gotten burnt out. Because there was articles coming out when Red Dead 2 came out about them doing 100-hour work weeks writing the story of that game.
Yeah.
That will burn.
Writing it or just in
anybody.
production?
He said the writing team would have 100-hour work weeks for weeks in a row. It's an 80-hour game with dozens of side quests and probably 30 to 50,000 lines of dialogue. That's not easy.
Yeah.
And rewrites and reshoots and all sorts of shit happen in that game.
It seems unsustainable, but it's Rockstar, so you can kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But speaking of burning out, we've had a lot of conversations recently about burning out ourselves in specific genres. So I wanted to talk about that this week. And most specifically, I guess, like me and Ryan have had conversations over the last 2 weeks trying to figure out what our next direction's going to be. And that sounds ominous. And I don't mean like we're not going to do the podcast anymore.
I'm lost.
What I mean is like Ryan and I both came to this conclusion a couple weeks ago that like we play too many shooters. Like that's it. Call of Duty and Battlefield and Gears and whatever it is, like most of the time when we're playing something, we're playing a first-person shooter, and we're starting to feel Apex. Yep, absolutely. We're starting to feel that like genre fatigue, right? We're starting to get tired of the genre. And then I brought that up to Nan, and she mentioned having reached a point where she was just kind of fed up with playing shooters because all it is point, bang, bang.
She was playing two shooters that are often compared to one another.
Yeah.
Destiny and Warframe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I mean, I got to the point where I just went like, bleh. I just couldn't do it anymore. I walked away for 2 weeks and didn't play either game. Didn't pick up a controller. And it's a shame because I didn't have anything else that I wanted to play, and so I played nothing, which kind of leaves a big hole in your life.
And then you came over and we looked at Game Pass stuff, and you were like, "Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah,
that looks interesting."
that
And
looks
we
cool.
installed like 5 things. So
Yeah.
So I guess the topics out there. The question is: has anybody else experienced genre fatigue like this, and when, and what was it about?
Well, I jumped over to Ark for fucking 2 months straight, almost.
Yeah.
With barely playing Rocket League and Call of Duty, and I haven't touched Apex other than maybe 2 or 3 times, like 2 or 3 like days out of the past 4 months. So
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was gonna stick to that game like crazy, but Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty came out and they dropped a really good game, so that's one of the main reasons why I dropped Apex. But I had to switch complete genres. Like, I enjoy doing minimalistic stuff like Ark. I mean, shit, I played Farm Simulator like it was nothing for quite a while there too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it did change it up for me, but my fatigue right now is that I'm waiting on an update that should have been out a week ago that they postponed for an extra month. Not sure if that's going to be an extra month on top of that, like just because Ark is putting out a new DLC and they're really bad at like delivering on DLC dates and things in general in their game. So yeah, my fatigue's basically I play the old games or I don't play anything else. So
Yeah, and it's that's an interesting thing where like part of genre fatigue I think comes from getting super comfortable in that genre and like making it like your primary, like it's your comfort zone. So you're like, oh, Call of Duty's out. I know how to play those games. I'm going to jump right into them. And then you just get into the habit of doing that when it happens. And then you find yourself a year and a half later like, I've only been playing this.
You're on autopilot almost.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I think the industry has a bit of that fatigue as well. I feel like Call of Duty was a remaster. I don't know if they expected it to get as big as it is right now, but I mean, it's not really a remaster, but half those maps are old maps, right? And then Apex was just sort of launched out of the blue, and that took off. But besides those, what are the games that won all the Game of the Year awards?
Right, they're
not FPS.
Well, that's also because they separate out those categories, right? Like, you get a best shooter, and that shooters don't really apply to anything but shooters.
I guess
right now.
Not necessarily. I'll look at other years just see if I can cross-reference it. Best ongoing, Sea of Thieves. Best remake, Resident Evil. Goose Game freaking won. Apex, of course, won, but Red Dead was third person, not first person. Disco Elysium, Outer Wilds. So yeah, it could.
Yeah, Outer Worlds won an award too for best RPG, or no, not best RPG, something. I thought. A lot of games use the first person perspective to tell their stories or to draw in their players, and so like, I think being burnt out from a first person shooter is perhaps the most daunting thing, because while it's not like there aren't other games that aren't first person shooters, I think the largest part of the market is like, yo, first person, let's go shoot shit. Even Sea of Thieves is, when it comes to fighting things, it's a first person shooter,
and not very good at it either.
And it's not a great shooter. Sure, the navigation and the cannons are the funnest part of that game for me, 100%. But when I'm fighting hand to hand with somebody, nope.
Yeah,
it's too much lag. It's too unrealistic. It's just very difficult.
Yeah. But then you've also got companies like Ubisoft that are trying to mix it up with like games like For Honor or Bleeding Edge, which is coming out. I'm excited about that game because it's not a first-person shooter. Yep. That game looks dope. The character design's dope.
You can bet that if a game's coming out and it's a first-person shooter in the trailer, I'm going to be a little hesitant.
Right.
Interesting. I'm the opposite.
You're automatically more invested if it's a first-person shooter?
I have been, yeah. Like, Call of Duty came out, and I was like, or the trailer for Call of Duty came out, and I was like, man, this looks this good, and it's in first person. Like, that's a level of immersion that we haven't gotten in a shooter in a minute.
Yeah.
Or, it like first person.
I do want to address what Zing said.
Yeah.
He says he goes through cycles with Minecraft and Sea of Thieves because of the regular updates. Sure. So now that's not exactly genre fatigue. That's franchise fatigue or specific game fatigue. I'll actually not play Warframe, if you can believe it. And when they release an update, I'll be like, oh, okay, let me go check it out. And I'll be in for a few weeks. That's pretty regular, I think, especially as games as a service is continuing to evolve. Yeah,
that's the ideal, right? The yo-yo, the back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say Fortnite paved the road, and then Rocket League definitely was part of that construction crew with regular updates. Sea of Thieves definitely jumped on that model, and then it's continuing to evolve now with what's the game you just said earlier in the news that said it's not going to have any DLC, any paid DLC?
Bleeding Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the newest thing,
Disintegration's also not going to have any paid DLC.
Yeah.
Disintegration's going to be all free DLC.
So it's the same but different. You can have franchise fatigue or game fatigue, but like a genre fatigue, I'm trying to recall at any point where I felt like all I did was first-person shooters, but I don't know.
Oh, I haven't played RPGs in a long time. I beat Mass Effect and Andromeda, and since then I haven't really played any. It's been like 2 years. Assassin's Creed. I played through Assassin's Creed Origins, which was that fall, but that's not technically an RPG.
I kind of wouldn't call Mass Effect an RPG either, but.
Well, you've got decisions you can make that alter the game that you get.
I guess.
What would you consider?
Witcher, and
I haven't played Witcher.
Final Fantasy, and
I can't believe it.
Knights of Amarlur, I think was a big one, and I would say game like Diablo and stuff like that. Those are definitely more RPGs in my mind. The classic
Weird. I
format.
don't see Diablo as an RPG at all.
What do they consider
It's
it?
a dungeon crawler. It's an action game.
Yeah.
But it's got all the elements of a hardcore RPG, the character building and all that stuff.
Yeah, I always characterize RPG
Like,
by character.
Do you remember Baldur's Gate? Those old D&D top-down games?
yeah.
Those are role-playing games.
Yeah, but I characterize a role-playing game by you being able to, like, interact with the story in a meaningful way.
You do. But does everybody else?
Well, yeah, that's part of playing a role, right? Is having a role to play in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, technically Final Fantasy.
Diablo's an action RPG, but...
Yeah, sure.
What was that game, Mom, that you and I started? We were the Englishman and his family died in a raid, and you run off and be a knight just sort of by consequence.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Deliverance.
First person medieval game.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come
that,
Deliverance.
that's an RPG to me, and then that's an American or like at least a Western RPG like that and Witcher, and then of course the other side of the spectrum is Nier Automata and Final Fantasy and that all that batshit stuff from Japan. But yeah, Nier Automata is definitely an RPG, and I like it a lot. I just can't drive. It doesn't have that God of War pull to make me play it and nothing else.
I'm playing God of War right now. I'm getting...
First time?
Yeah. I just went to Alfheim and
Nice.
just got past the scene where Atreus gets grabbed by the Dark Elf and pulled away.
Yeah.
Kratos goes fucking nuts and like knocks down a pillar to get to him. You start punching this thing and pushes it over.
Yeah.
Fucking,
It's
that
good to
game's
see.
incredible.
It's fun to watch the old Kratos come out bit by bit as you progress through the game.
Also, sorry, sidetrack. It'll be quick. I promise. 30 seconds. There's a heavy attack when you hold the right trigger, R2, where he like sets and then turns and swings this big overhanded thing. And I timed it perfectly as a dark elf flew in to attack me. So it was like, whoom, and then like instant, like knocked him down, cut him in half, and it was like, it's perfect. This game's perfect.
Yeah, they worked real hard on the combat in that game. It feels extra juicy.
And hearing him just like, roar,
yeah,
ripping stuff open, it's great.
Yeah, that game had its teeth in me for probably, I don't know. I don't remember how long, but it didn't let go until I was finished. And then I played a little extra to try to get to 100%, and I couldn't. But yeah,
for sure.
So I'm playing Portal 2.
All right. Not trying anything new yet?
Now that's a nice, that's a really nice refresher after.
It's still a first-person shooter.
Oh yeah, but there's not like bad guys shooting you all the time.
You're right.
I think I was gonna segue into that. I think the thing that's most exhausting to me about Warframe and Destiny, because I've been playing Destiny 2, Destiny 1, back and forth with my sister. Density, yeah. Is that I just get really sick and tired of constantly being in a... There's no puzzling, there's no problem solving, there's just banging away constantly the whole time.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's probably what exhausted me more than anything else.
You will do it.
Yes. So anyway, I would like to have a game that has some other element involved instead of just turning a corner, cleaning a room, turning another corner, cleaning out another room, and then get the bad guy.
So for everybody who seems to have been impacted by this in some way, Ben couldn't find a genre that he's gotten tired of because he's better than us. But what's a genre or game that like you have not gotten into that you have been thinking about more when you've been thinking about the idea of like I need to mix it up a little bit? Like what kinds of games do you want to play more that you haven't been able to or that you're willing to try out? Ryan, I think this question is probably most pertinent to you because you've kind of been a one-directional gamer for a little bit. It's been a lot of shooters, and you're starting to branch out now into like story and open world, like survival, like Ark. Like what do you see on the horizon that's got you excited about playing games?
Well,
again?
me and you were talking about playing Stardew Valley, which I mean it's not single player, but it is because it has its own storyline.
I super want to play that game too.
But we can co-op it. So
yep. Is the co-op story, or is it just a farm?
I think it's story.
Oh man, I'm so down. That game's installed. Like, I'm so down.
Yeah, because I like the whole management of the game of like developing your farm, like developing the farm and that kind of stuff. But then you have to go out and go chat with people. You have to build relationships with people, that kind of stuff. So
Sure.
it dives in deeper than most people think the actual game is.
Zing said he's put 50 hours into it this week.
Yeah, I want to get into that game real bad, and then I might just revert back to going back through Farm Simulator because I haven't touched that in a long time either, and I've been kind of feeling that urge to do so.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, sure. Ben, do you have a genre of games you're trying to crack back into or just crack into altogether?
I mean, I think about Kingdom Come and Witcher a lot. I mean, they're so engrossing, but it's just I don't have the time. I know that those games are going to take so long to finish, and I just can't afford that right now.
Well, what if you stopped playing Call of Duty or Warframe? Like, would you sacrifice those things to get into something that you've missed out on?
Well, as we've discussed before, I this is sort of one of the few ways I interact with either you or many other people is to get online and do something.
Yeah.
So I spend all day, working, 2 jobs now, 3 if you count school, and I want to get online and hang out with my buds. I don't want to get on, like, I've got Remedy's last game.
It's your butthole.
Yeah, I actually do have a butthole. That's a part.
Good place. Good
place reference, everybody. And I think I've got Remedy's last game installed. What was it?
You got Control?
No, previous to that.
Oh, Quantum Break.
I got Quantum Break installed,
Ooh,
and
I did that.
And then once you said that, like you have to sit down and watch an episode, I'm like, man, I got 2 hours to enjoy myself before I have to go to sleep.
So play for an hour and a half, and then right before you go to bed, watch an episode of a show and stimulate your brain.
Missing the point. I want to hang out with my friends. So like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not do a first
it's
person.
the back catalog
issue.
Solo game.
We talked about that. Yeah, like I played Red Dead with people in a party. And we didn't talk a ton.
We talked about this.
I think the social aspect is probably changing the way people play.
Guys, go ahead. Sorry, I don't cut you
don't
off.
you? I mean, I'm just observing you guys because you guys been
You're absolutely
much more,
right.
I think people prefer co-op and multiplayer now so much more that I think it's going to change the direction of gaming.
See, I think that it's weird to not be willing to do something single player in a party. Like, you go watch movies with your friends, and if you're not at the movie theater, if you're at the house, you do say things to each other, but that's still time you're spending together hanging out.
Yeah, but when we're in the movie, they shut up.
Yeah, have you played Call of Duty and had somebody playing GTA in the same lobby? And I mean, we had it the other day. We had like 3 different games going on at one time, and we're just like, all right, we got to leave because if people are playing Rocket League, you're calling things out. Well, you don't want to be sitting there playing a single player game and somebody's playing Call of Duty.
Flank right.
Yeah, raging out and stuff just because people are destroying you. Like, there's
I might as well not be in a party.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have a problem
turn
with
you
that.
down to listen to the game, then why am I in a party?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I still want to jump in and talk. And most games don't need your full attention 100% of the time. I think you guys are overestimating that. Like, Red Dead...
Not what's the game? I can't remember the name of this game that I just said.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
No.
Quantum
the Remedy
Break.
game.
Quantum Break.
Sounds like it's going to be constantly reinforcing you with story elements. That's not a game you can mute.
No, it's a shooter. They made Max Payne. It's a shooter.
Max Payne has constant narration.
You run around and blow shit up, and then you get a cutscene. And then you run around and blow shit up, and then you get
a game like Witcher and Warcraft. Warcraft.
What?
Warframe.
Yeah.
Warcraft 2, for that matter. You spend most of your time just hunting and gathering. So yeah, jump in a party, have fun. But there are some single player experiences that I want to be so connected with. I don't want the distraction of a party.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't play it, because I'd rather be in a party. So the backlog groweth. So yeah. I guess my genre fatigue is my own need for social interaction. I'm tired of that. I wish I could dump that and just knock out some of the back catalog. But...
Dude, you played through Star Wars while I was beating
something
else. And we were in a party together.
Yeah.
And you would just go, "Oh my god," and I'd be like, "I need to play that game so bad." And I enjoyed that time a lot because I don't know. I referenced this last time we talked about it. It's like when you had a crush on
popcorn game, but
yeah. And it reminds me of like the time when you had a crush on someone in high school and you just sat on the phone and talked to him for like 3 hours, and a good hour of that was you just like sitting there doing shit. Jordan does this. Jordan will be on the phone with his girlfriend playing Call of Duty with us, and they're not talking.
Yeah.
And then she'll say something, and he'll be like, "What?" And then they'll start talking for a second, and then they'll come back. And like that's still a really like
unhealthy relationship.
that still feels like a very cool and very like intimate connection with me, because like if I can be in a chat with you and not have to talk to you, but like be able to share moments that happen as they happen while I'm doing it, that's dope. Like I've played through
Sleep
Red Dead
in different rooms, yeah.
separate beds like Dwight and Angela. I played through a lot of the last parts of Red Dead while people had moved past me. Especially Assassin's Creed Origins I burned through pretty quickly. Mass Effect Andromeda, I was in a party with you guys putting 120 hours into that game in like a month and a half. It was completely single player, and it was all I played. But I loved like being in parties while you guys were doing stuff, because it was still there, and I could still weigh in if a conversation got somewhere, and I could pause the game. I think the idea of being completely into and enthralled by something to the point where you can't do anything else is... I don't know many games that force that, other than Death Stranding.
Okay, all right.
Maybe the person needs that forced on them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would not want my Death Stranding experience sullied by you clowns in the background. Sorry.
You know what? You know what you guys are saying? This is a generation that can't watch a movie at home without checking on the internet.
Yeah.
You know? It's quite true, and I've gotten pretty bad at it too. I mean, we've all been influenced by overstimulation. I think that's what you're saying. You're playing a game, you're talking to your friends, you're all in different games, and that's what it takes to keep us motivated these days.
Unless you're in a party with other people playing a single player game that they're invested in, then
everybody's quiet.
Yeah. Shh.
Where you can start up for like a 2-minute conversation. Then
hey guys, what do you think? Hold on. Shh.
That one.
Yeah. That was the beginning, the first weeks of Red Dead. That was all it was. Bunch of people on a party, all playing Red Dead, and it was just like, "What's up, guys?"
Or you say something
What's
and
up?
nobody responds because they've got you turned down because there's a cutscene going on.
See, I don't turn it down unless it's y'all play multiplayer.
What?
Not single player. Let me finish my sentence.
So there's a full conversation going on. You just let it blend into the story.
Reactionary? No, you didn't let me finish. I don't turn it down unless y'all are playing multiplayer and it's a cutscene. So if you guys are just having a conversation and I'm running around in the open world, or I've got subtitles on all the time, so I zone out what's going on, or I turn it down a little bit, and I can still hear what's going on. And if something pops up, I pause it and I go, "What?" and talk about it. I don't need to be so. I can focus on something and take a break from it.
What?
But I think that comes from like.
But you're not going to get, well, you did, but most people are not going to get that full absorption of the atmosphere. Being in another time in another place, if they don't spend some time in that game, fully invested in the game, the music, the dialogue, the scenery.
I had those moments too. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't hang out with my friends.
You certainly did, because I know it impacted you.
Yeah,
hugely.
I don't know. It's I tried to get you to play Red Dead forever, and then didn't learn from that experience when y'all were trying to get me to play Warframe. Anyway, we've been on a tangent. What are you thinking about playing now that you're out of love with FPS?
Going back to
Portal.
Some racing games.
Yeah, Wipeout.
Oh,
Speaking of Wipeout, not Dishonored. Oh god, the biotech game you said I got to go back and finish.
Deus Ex.
Excuse me. Yeah, Deus Ex. I didn't finish 2, and I loved 1. I loved it. Played it enjoyed it. I'm really thinking about getting back into that.
I want to start those games over.
You have,
I
yeah.
like those
maybe
games so much.
maybe that's what I should do.
They're so good.
Yeah. Have you guys played those?
Yeah, feels like you're playing it on the cloud on the other side of the planet with a bad connection. It's just so fucking slow.
What game?
I think you had a weird bug or something. 'Cause that game was not slow to me.
I didn't have
I
any.
beat the first one, and I've tried 3 times to play the second one, and I couldn't do it.
I wondered how I'd feel about it going back and approaching it again, because sometimes I love games, but it takes me more than one attempt. But I liked it because you could solve there are solutions of multiple.
Well,
multiple
most
solutions.
most rooms are a puzzle because it's
Yeah.
like you got 10 guys, you can kill them, you can knock them out, you can go completely unseen, and you can do any combination of those 3 things.
And you don't have to open all the little cabinets and open all the secret doors. You can solve the game so many different ways.
That's another reason I got fatigued with RPGs, is I hadn't taught my brain not to do fucking everything.
Yeah.
And like as soon as I was like, I'm gonna do enough, and I'm gonna get to a point
I
where
have
I'm
to
like,
crack this safe. No, you don't.
I've done enough. I'll move on, and I'll be
Yeah,
all right with it
yeah.
now. That happened in God of War today. I was running through and like moving the bridge in the Lake of Nine, and I was like, there's a bunch of spirits to free. So I did all 4 of those, and then he was like, go free my men that are under the lake, and I was like, I'm not even gonna look. Like I've done enough. I'm gonna push the story forward.
Yeah, the side quests can really bog you down.
Yeah, and I think I let that happen to me with a bunch of things that like Witcher. I was like, man, there's a different job every day. Don't do them. Just don't do them. Fucking push through the story, and then if you want to do shit afterwards, go back and do it. That game also gives you contracts that you can't do until you're level 50 when you're level 2. So it's like, I mean, you can grab this if you want, but it's just gonna bug you for 80 hours.
Yeah, you'll walk in, get your ass kicked.
How far do I have to play that game to get into it? Because I've done.
Oh, you'll get into it immediately.
Okay, because I've gone to the point where he's training the little girl and twice, and it's like.
So you're saying you haven't? So you're saying you haven't gotten through the intro once?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't interest me.
Well, you have to get through the intro and go to a town where the kids are being stolen away from the fields by a griffin, and go hunt down the griffin. And while you're doing that, get distracted by a side quest about a woman who was killed and whose arm fell off for her skeleton into a well. And so you have to dive down the well and find the arm to put it back together during the daytime specifically, so she can come back as a spirit, so you can put her soul to rest, and then you can go back to her family and tell. Like, that game's side quests get me. Like,
Yeah.
every side quest felt important. Like, I showed up at night to a town that was abandoned and was like, oh, it's a day lich. Fuck. So I had to go do something else, come back during the day, and then put these things together, and put her spirit to rest, and then I could go back and be like, it's okay.
Oh, Caleb, did you do the? Did you watch the show?
I haven't yet. No.
Something happens if you curse a child. It comes out like a little demon baby. I'm sure somebody in the chat will remind me what it is. But there's somebody curses a child in the game. And it's this deformed little child just running around with the umbilical. Yeah, Strigger. I think it's Striga is the mother or something like that. And then they love to have this whole lexicon. But so you have to find the baby, and then bury it somewhere specifically, and then that father has to forgive it or something. Man, I forgot, but it was really emotional because this guy had a kid with his young wife, and then the wife ran away, and then the kid became cursed, and then you had to chase the kid down. This is a deformed little demon baby with sharp teeth, and then you had to give this deformed demon baby back to the father that didn't want it, and he starts crying, and you have to bury it, and it's awesome. It was
Bury
so
it
cool.
alive?
Well, yeah. But that released its soul.
Okay.
And let it rest. Something
I'm all
like that.
about that.
Yeah.
That sounds so fucking great. You'd
it was-
love Witcher so much, dude.
And voice acting's all on point and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
voice acting's great.
Yeah.
It looks great. The first town I rode into that was had soldiers camping in it and dead bodies in the fields, and it's just everything felt so real and lived in. Oh,
And it's a huge game, right? It's just
it's you could play that game for 200 hours if you did everything.
So that's probably what I'll be doing next.
Yeah.
That and maybe finishing Deus Ex.
Okay, the Striga is the cursed mother.
Ryan, do you have a game you're looking at next other than Stardew?
Oh,
Or Stardew your go-to right now?
I'm probably gonna do some racing too. I have Wreckfest and I haven't touched it since the first day that I got it, so I need to get that out too.
Was that game? That wasn't Game Pass. It was like a free
It was on
weekend.
Games with Gold.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was games. It was Games with Gold, but it was like the free days or whatever.
Oh, okay. Days of Play or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but I've also like first person shooter. I want to get away from it, but I feel like the multiplayer like Call of Duty, Apex stuff, I need to get away from. Like, there's a game called Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts that came out in December or November.
Yep.
That looks really freaking good, and it's strategy, like taking out a ton of guys without getting detected.
Oh, this is why I love stealth stuff so much. Yeah, it's absolutely strategy.
I actually almost bought Ghost Recon the other day, so that me and you could play it.
The game was like $20 last week too. You should have told me.
Was it?
At GameStop, yeah, the physical copy was $20.
wow.
Well, piss.
I didn't know you were interested. I didn't know you were interested. I would have said something. That makes me sad. Yeah.
So the cursed child is called a botchling.
BOX boxling.
No, botched like
you botched it. Like it's a botched kid.
And then the
that's
ceremony
terrible.
turns it into what's called a lubberkin.
Oh.
I guess what is Caleb's nickname.
No, Lubberkin.
That's his family. Lubberkin.
Lubberkin's like a derivation of Lieberkin, which means like a loved child.
Ooh, it's a bastardization of it.
No, it's a different Germanic tongue, probably. It's like the Danish version or the Welsh version or something like that.
Variation.
Well, yeah, the pirates used to say lubber for lover, like landlubber was a
Landlubber.
Yeah, lubber.
Yeah.
So a love child.
Yeah. You turn it from a botched child to a loved child, and then it spirits free.
Wow.
Yeah. Does this happen in the show too?
Yeah. Yes, but it's not taken care of, so the botchling turns into a full-blown Striga. It turns into just a full-grown adult demon thing,
Yikes.
Monster.
A lot
So
harder
to
to
hunt
take
it down
out.
and solve the riddle, solve the curse, which he had to fight this thing in the right place till daytime, and not let it run away to its hidey hole, which I think was the mother's tomb or something like that. So he fought it till daytime, and it turned back into the child. So
Fuck! I need to watch this show.
You really do. It's fantastic. And if you're confused, just keep going.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
There's
I've
three
heard.
three congruent timelines. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Who's streaming that?
Netflix.
The flicks.
Okay. The Flicks.
It's rated M for mature.
Rated in for
Everybody-
mom.
Everybody who didn't like the games because it was not enough like the books loved the show.
Because it's based on the books.
Because it's...
Also, a lot of people said it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It brought in some of the game too. So.
Sure. All right. Well, I think that covers our topic pretty well.
Okay.
Do we have a Smurfy fact? Well, first, before we move into that, did anybody else want to weigh in on the? Ben, I didn't even ask you. What's the thing you want to get into? Do you have a title you want to try that you haven't played yet? What was that?
That I haven't played yet.
I heard
Or that you've only played a little bit of? Someone's keyboard farted and no one's saying anything
No,
about
I
it.
mean, I feel like I've mentioned a
I
bunch of
pushed it
stuff.
a little bit, and
I did mean to mention earlier. I am completely fatigued with Battle Royale. I do want to try Apex with the new guy.
Yeah.
I just I'm pretty fatigued with BR. But
Are you fatigued with it, do you think? Or do you just not like it that much?
you should have
like
played
that.
with the test dummies on Apex because everybody was on the same playing field with abilities.
and there's a bunch of game modes I would have really enjoyed, like the net always be closing one, and there's one with respawns, I think. I should have, but I just didn't have time. Bad timing lately. And then oh snap, there was something else. Oh, I want to reinstall For Honor again, because there's like 16 or 20 heroes now.
Yeah, but
It'd
you
be
probably
really
have to
fun if,
pay to unlock them.
or just play I think if enough of us reinstalled it and got into Arena, it would feel like, what's that funny game that we've been playing lately?
Oh,
yeah,
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beast. Or
We need to get
Brawlhalla.
more people to get that.
Yeah,
Like,
we should play Gang Beasts tonight for a little bit after the podcast.
I might be down to play a little bit.
Yeah, we can't do it long because Nan's got to get up early in the morning, and I've got to get up early in the morning.
I do too. I have a 7
camp out
a.m.
there.
I have a
I can camp out there.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna make you camp out there. Put an air mattress up.
I have a client at 7 a.m.
Woo, nice. Fuck
Don't know
that.
don't know why I agreed to that.
Nope.
What?
You were like, what time works for you? And they were like 7, and you're like, cool. Fuck. Why did I say that?
Did I say that
I hurry up.
loud?
If I hurry up, I can go back home and go to sleep. No, probably
Oh,
not.
no.
That'd be funny. What'd you do? Went to the gym. What are you doing now? Going back to bed. Take a bowl of cereal with you. Do we have a Smurf fact for this week? Did anybody find a little tidbit?
It's uncommon.
Wait. So yes, you do?
Yeah, yes.
All right, hold on. Fuck, just diving in. We have a segment at the end of the show we do where we give you a little bit of trivia. It's called our Smurf Facts, and we have a little ditty for it. I'm going to play it real quick. Smurf Facts, oh yeah. Boom. Nobody else can hear it, which is fine because they used to give me shit about it. Now they can't because it works, and they can't tell if it did or didn't.
I heard
Ben, with our Smurf Fact. Hey, say, yeah, see, she heard it. Confirmation.
Yeah.
Though it's
Nice.
uncommon, since humans bathe more than your typical animal and don't shed as much hair or skin, some animals can still be allergic to humans. Like cats, according to popular science. However, it's more often because of the perfume or cologne we wear or soap we use. So animals can actually be allergic to us.
Cats are assholes because they're allergic to people.
I think it's turnabout is fair play with cats.
That's
Sure.
why when you pet a cat, it likes it, and then a few seconds later, it's like, get the fuck off of me. Yeah. Dude, stop.
I forgot.
And they turn around and bite you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty cool. 60% of the human brain is made out of fat.
I have got one powerful brain.
I got a fat ass brain.
We're all fatheaded. Damn, son, that brain is thick.
Damn, son. That boy thick.
That's my boy.
Stupid. Oh, man. All right. So we wrap up our show every week telling you guys what we're playing and what we're watching, listening to, or reading that we want you guys to get into. We've talked a lot about what we've been playing recently. So I'm going to jump in and say I've been watching Good Place. I just finished Season 3. And Season 4 is past the first episode on Hulu. So I either have to wait until about September for Netflix, or I have to cave and buy it on Amazon. And I'll tell you what, probably going to cave and buy it on Amazon.
Hey, sometimes you need to spend money on things that you like.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
Season 3's ending was very good. And sad.
I finally resumed Season 1, so I'm gonna start, and I loved it.
Season 3 is so there's
gonna-
moments in Season 3 where like the mood turns at a snap, and you're like, oh.
I'm
Ooh.
so glad to
Okay.
hear of a show that allows the characters to develop like that. So many do not. They're so one faceted.
Yeah, I think it's because this show was made to grow and then conclude.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had an end
It
point.
has had a trajectory. Yep.
And it's about ethics and morality. Like, how can a show be actually about that and do it well and not have characters that grow?
Wow.
I guess you could do it about that and do it poorly, but
Yeah.
they didn't.
Make it all be humorous
They
and
didn't,
not
yeah.
have the impact.
And it's like made me like start reading stuff, like
Stuff.
Ethics.
like stuff on ethics and morality, like reading through the Kierkegaard and
Good grief.
yeah, because
That show?
they bring it up all the time. Yeah,
Wow.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm watching. Listening to a lot of game soundtracks. Going through some of my favorite soundtracks over the last decade, and Anthem's up there because that soundtrack's incredible. But Deus Ex is, if you haven't listened to the Human Revolution soundtrack, just listen to that over and over again. It's great. Nothing new really artist-wise. I mean, Eminem's album came out. That's all right. I'm not a huge hip-hop fan, though. And then reading, I'm not reading anything right now, sadly. My wife's through like 6 books, though, so I feel perfectly Yeah.
I drive past the library.
Yeah. I've got so many books I need to read. I just need to read. So I'll get to reading. Ryan, what are your bounties for the week?
I've been playing Rocket League, Call of Duty, same shit over and over again. I've been watching a lot of movies though during the day. I've watched Kong, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War. I watched Phantom Menace today, and there was one part I almost sent to our little group chat. Obi-Wan is an asshole in that movie because Qui-Gon comes back and Qui-Gon's like, "Hang on, I'll be right back to the ship. I gotta do one more thing," and he goes, "What useless life form have you found this time?" It's like, oh my god, dude, what a fucking dick. Like, why?
That's
why
incredible.
are you like this? But yeah, so I've watched that today. YouTube TV has a lot of good movies on it. And I've just been going through and rocking all those out.
Dope.
So, listening to, not much. I only listen to things in the car, and I'm really out of the house anymore, so.
Do podcasts count as listening to?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've been listening to The Office Ladies, which
Yeah.
is Pam and Angela on talking about all the Office episodes one by one. And I've been listening to old episodes of Shit Show.
Nice.
6-minute Shit Show.
Which is dangerous.
Yeah.
You'll run into some real
That's
gems.
awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. But
I randomly picked that one that
Oh,
was like
no.
the falling out.
That was
I randomly
random?
picked it. And then like the beginning of the episode got hostile instantly. I was like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
No, thank you.
Oh, man.
We got stream issues. Somebody asked if the stream died.
Yeah, it looked like it did for a second, but now it seems fine.
Never mind.
I lost a bunch of frames. Sorry, guys. I don't know why. My internet's been fucky recently, and it was fucky this time of the year last year too. Remember when I was having to unplug it and then plug it back in?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
It's been a little finicky the last few days, so that's fun. Sorry, yeah, we had about 2,000 drop frames, so it was probably dead for about a minute. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, thanks Ryan for sharing bounties. Ben, what are you up to?
Well, we finished The Good Place and cried big old fat crocodile tears, so that's good. Well, I did. Kim was just mad.
Mad?
Yeah.
Oh no.
She didn't like the ending, though.
No, but she doesn't like when things end, so she's probably just,
Yeah.
I want more, and I'm just gonna be mad about it. Let me think. Just the last week, the only game I really got time for was Disintegration, so that was fun. I think I played all 4 days, 2 days of the private, 2 days of the public. So I got probably 10 hours into it. So that felt pretty cool. I've been into a pretty big metal kick lately, and I've been discovering, along with my friends, Devin Townsend, who was a part of Strapping Young Lad back in the day, but now he's part of his own project, the Devin Townsend Project. And this guy is a freak of nature savant who's created, what did we see, like 20, 30 albums in his lifetime?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Something crazy like that. He just can't stop creating.
Well, yeah, he's got like manic depression, so like he creates based on the depression he's going through, and so like it comes out different almost every time, and not like wildly different, but it changes in like distinct ways. And it's Ben played through like 3 or 4 things when I was finishing that Coffee Talk review, and each one was like, oh god, that's great.
Yeah.
In a different way, it was great.
Yeah. Not reading anything. I finished some stupid marketing book called like This Is It or something, printed at like 14-point font, double spaced.
How much did you pay for that?
It was like $7, but you had to like flip the page every paragraph. It's like a kid's book. It was
It's
awesome.
boy, is it a page turner? And it's,
Let me guess, this book was how to make money selling books.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
great if at the end it was like the
Gotcha.
best way to make money is to sell books about bullshit that's
About
20,
making money.
20 size font.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, let me think. Not reading any comics right now, sadly. I did start the new Wonder Woman Dead Earth book, where Earth has been nuked, and Diana wakes up in a cryo chamber after the fact. So that's pretty cool.
Damn, that would suck.
Yeah. And then I started reading the Harley Quinn book, but it's too damn wordy, so I'm done with that. Gorgeous book though. But and then that should be everything.
Dope.
I believe.
Man.
Oh.
Reading, listening to, watching,
Man,
and
I have been
playing.
one dull lady lately. Because I needed comfort food
Sure.
viewing, I went back and watched the whole Harry Potter saga.
Nice.
Because you
Yeah.
revert to things that like that, and when it ended, I got really emotional because it's just kind of like the end of the Star Wars. It's just like, dang,
Yeah.
it's over
Sure.
again. So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I haven't read anything in the last month, but I read Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Mhm.
Phenomenal story. It starts out just being a slave story, then it becomes this weird folklore-ish fantasy that, African folklore, spiritual, mystical. Oh, it's awesome. But it's also about the underground, the Underground Railroad and
Nice.
people involved in that. But tied it all into this beautiful African mystical stuff. Is just gorgeous. So I read that. Haven't been listening to any music at all. So, bah, humbug me.
Sure.
And I haven't seen any new movies lately, so I'm in a dearth of new movies right now.
It's all right.
You don't listen to any music while packing?
I
I don't think
really,
I could do that.
I am, I go in like gluts where I just listen to music 24 hours a day and always got my headsets on or my tunes turned up, and then I'll just do like what I've done the last couple of weeks, and it's just like silence, which is really
Yeah.
annoying because never mind, I won't go into it. Never mind. You hear too much what's going on around you. Now that's all I'm going to say about that.
Sure.
Yeah, it's nice to have music or something to tune out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything coming up that you're excited to go see? It's weird, man. It feels like nothing's coming out this year, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom.
It's not that time of
Everything.
year. It's the wrong time of year.
I guess.
Right now, there's
I
nothing
guess.
coming out right now.
Yeah, we're getting Birds of Prey like a week and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it. Well, dope.
And Sonic.
Sonic, yep, for sure.
Did you guys see Jim Carrey on the show, on the Late Show?
No, but I heard he was on. Was it
Yeah.
good?
It was pretty great.
Yeah. I did.
I'm not
Okay,
that
I
old
lie.
to start watching The Late Show.
I lie. I did see him coming out on stage with the doing the New Orleans.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty cool. And he was dancing, and he's not a young guy anymore, and he sat
sure is.
down, and he was just,
Yep.
yeah. But he's like 1,000% when he's
Yeah,
on like that. It was really adorable.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I did not hear him talk.
Had a rough decade too, so he didn't age naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Right.
Sure.
I think I've aged 10 years in 2.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like a president of the United States.
Shoot.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't my responsibilities that did it,
Sure.
or my bad living.
Ad lib so bad I aged. Dope. Well, thanks for everybody who was on the stream. We've got like 8 viewers right now, and it's dope. Appreciate y'all.
That's pretty great.
Thanks for interacting with us in chat, Tech and Zing and Ryan, of course, throwing stuff out there. If you want to watch this later, it'll be on Twitch. I'll throw it up on YouTube as well. On Friday? Nope, not on Friday, probably, because that's tomorrow. Probably get it on Saturday. If you want to listen to it, you can catch it on podcast services. If you want to follow NerdyBits, head to nerdybits.com. Ryan said you're welcome in the chat. Head to nerdybits.com. You can find all of our articles and podcasts there, as well as all of our social links. If you want to follow me, you can do that anywhere at LubWub. Ben, where can people find you?
Anywhere at Sketch Sawyer, including sketchsawyer.com.
Dope. Ryan, where can people find you?
Sergeant Sodium, Xbox Mixer, Twitter, and Instagram.
And last and best, Nan, where can people find not only you, but the art that you make and post as well?
I'm Calamity XTJ on Xbox.
Okay.
And my Instagram is Christy _Sawyer.
All right.
And I actually think that's how you find me on Facebook too. But Instagram has most of my art.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of keep that.
What kind of art do you make for the people who don't
Well,
know?
the people that don't know, right now I'm doing mostly abstract alcohol ink. Seems to be very well received. People love it, but I've spent 30 plus years of my adult life becoming a figure and portrait painter. And then I make ink blots and people love it. Takes me 30, 40 hours to make a portrait or a figure painting, and it takes me, at tops 3 or 4 hours to do a ink. But that's okay because people really love it, and it communicates, so I love it too.
Also, it's super amazing to go, if you can take the time to track back through her Instagram and go from when that transition happened. Watching that art as it evolves, and also knowing that as a family we used to go to the art museum and look at abstract art and be like, it's just colors.
I don't understand.
And then now it's been adopted as
it's my new career.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So if you get the time on Instagram at
Christy
Sawyer,
Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. Go back to some figure paintings and then move upwards as it transitions.
Thank you. I would appreciate if you did that.
Yes.
That'd be really nice.
Yes. 100%. Well, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
I hope we didn't bore you.
Yeah.
No.
Thanks for being a part of this.
Well, I hope I contributed something.
And we're gonna get back to putting out proc gens as soon as she gets done moving.
Yeah.
We should be out of the weeds after that.
And I managed to spend a whole hour and 20 minutes talking about video games and didn't even mention Halo once. But I wanted to.
It's all right. Ben mentioned Warframe, so we covered the obligatory.
Okay.
The obligatory checkbox has been checked. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. I'm probably going to shut down stream after this because she's here and I want to let her sleep on an air mattress, not a couch, and that's going to be in my office. But Ryan, are you going to be on playing something later? Probably not on stream. Are you going to stream?
No.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
I didn't think about it. Stream's going to end up here. Thanks for watching, and you can catch us doing stuff over the next week up until the next episode. But yeah, stay cool. What was... It was catch you...
It's winter. Stay warm.
It's winter.
Yeah, really.
Boy, that's
on the other side of the planet. If you're in the hemisphere...
The bottom of the planet, yeah.
Yeah.
The bottom, yeah.
Anyway.
If you're in the ass and the earth, stay cool.
All right, everybody.
Night.
Take it easy.